Hey everybody, we are going to talk Social Security today. We all know that Social Security is taxable on a federal level if you make over a certain amount of money, but does your state tax Social Security? There are some that do. Before we dive in, please take a minute and check out fool.com/Frankel, the link you see on your screen. Get a message from my sponsor, The Motley Fool. It is the best way to support this work I'm doing on YouTube. Again, fool.com/Frankel, and please hit subscribe to my channel if you don't already. I cover Social Security very often. So let's dive right in. I want to share my screen real quick. There we go. So most states, here's the good news, most states do not tax Social Security benefits, but a few do. The list has become smaller and smaller in recent years. There are 3 states that actually discontinued Social Security benefit taxes in 2024. And now there are only 9 states on the list of states that tax Social Security. So we're going to go through them, a few at a time, talk about what you need to know about it, and why you really shouldn't you shouldn't really look too much into this and avoid retiring to a certain place because they're on this list. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. But before we go any further, let's just go through the list real quick. So the first 3 states that tax Social Security are Colorado, Connecticut, and Minnesota. Not all of these tax Social Security in the same way, which we'll discuss a little bit later, but those all have some form of Social Security tax on benefits. Now, I'm not talking about the Social Security payroll tax that you pay if you're an employee or an employer. This is tax that you pay on Social Security benefits. The next 3 are Montana, New Mexico, and Rhode Island. All of those have Social Security taxes. And finally, there is Utah, Vermont, and Virginia and West Virginia, all of which tax Social Security benefits to one degree or another. Just one thing to point out, there isn't one geographical area of the U.S. that all these are clustered in. It's not like if you live in the Northeast, you're likely to pay Social Security benefit taxes or any other specific region. They're all kind of spread out all over the place. And a lot of them have considered getting rid of these laws. Um, some states don't tax retirement income at all. Some have special tax breaks for retirement income from things like IRAs and 401ks and things like that. So this is just one part of the tax picture. Before we go any further, important to say that taxation of Social Security benefits is just one part of the tax picture. You need to take it into account with, I mentioned, other retirement income taxes, general income taxes, sales taxes, which vary dramatically from state to state, property taxes. So that's why I say don't read too much into this list if your state's on here. It's just one component in the overall tax friendliness of a place. If you have to pay tax on your Social Security benefits but have one of the lowest property tax rates in the country, for example, it could help balance things out. In other words, so as I mentioned, all of these states tax Social Security differently. None of them tax Social Security at a more aggressive in a more aggressive manner than the federal government. So Social Security benefits, no matter where you live, can be taxable at the federal level if your income exceeds certain thresholds, and they're pretty low. Um, the IRS uses a statistic called combined income to figure this out, and pretty much if your combined income's above like thirty to $40,000 in most cases, your Social Security benefits could be taxed, and depending on how high your income is, as much as 85% of your Social Security benefits can be considered taxable income for federal purposes. No state is any more aggressive than that. Most are are much more looser with their tax laws. So just to name a couple examples. So for example, Colorado only taxes Social Security benefits for people who are collecting it that are under 65. So if you're 62, 63, 64 and you've claimed Social Security, then you could see some of your benefits taxed. But if as soon as you reach 65, you're exempt. You're also exempt if you earn under certain income thresholds, even if you're 62, 63, or 64. And they're a lot higher than the federal income standards. So the short version is most people who get Social Security in Colorado don't end up paying tax on their benefits. Um, And other states are like that too. New Mexico is another example where single filers with incomes of $100,000 or less are exempt from paying tax on Social Security. That threshold is doubled for married couples who file joint returns. But if you earn less than that amount, you won't pay a dime of tax on your Social Security benefits, even if your benefits are taxable on the federal level. Some of the other states on that list of 9 that we went over, um, they also kind of have more loose tax structures than the federal government. So you go ahead and put that list back up just in case. So just if you missed it, just to recap, the states that tax Social Security: Colorado, Connecticut, Minnesota, Montana, New Mexico, and Rhode Island. And the last 3 are Utah, Vermont, and West Virginia. The taxation of Social Security benefits is just one component of the tax friendliness of a state. Unfortunately, there's a lot of taxes people have to pay. So make sure you take that into consideration along with things like property taxes, with income taxes, with sales tax, with taxes on other types of retirement income, because a lot of states give breaks on those. There's a lot of different taxes you could have to pay as a resident of a certain state. And it's important to take all of those into consideration when you're figuring out where you want to live. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions about that, I'm curious if any of you have had to pay Social Security benefit taxes if you live in one of these states, or if there are pretty easy ways to get out of them, even if you're in the right income range. So I'd love to hear your feedback. I'll do my best to answer any comments individually. I have a few other Social Security videos on my agenda, so please click subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and I will see you next time. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from the popular product Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by nearly 5 times. So go to fool.com/Frankel to get your 10 stock picks now. The Motley Fool Stock Advisor returns are 767% as of July 5th, 2024, and are measured against the S&P 500 returns of 163% as of July 5th, 2024.